It's Tuesday. It's
It's
Tuesday.
Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's our favorite day. Hey, it's our favorite day. It's
Hey,
our favorite day. It's
hey,
our favorite day. Come on, let's pump it.
hey,
Tuesday is Tuesday.
hey,
It's Tuesday is Tuesday. It's our favorite day. It's
hey,
our favorite day. It's
yes.
our favorite day. Woo, it's our favorite day. Listen, guys, it's our favorite day. Here at the Connector Corner, I'm your girl, Tori Rose, the Connector, and
Your girl, Kiana B.
B.
And today, we just going to be
We're
like,
going to
we
be.
going to be without these allergies that's acting up. Because people keep asking me at one, like, was you asleep? Did you just wake up? No.
No, I just channel my inner father.
No, it's called allergies.
It's
Sorry.
called
Bear
allergies.
with this voice tonight.
Well, you sound amazing to me. We're going to be bold. We're going to be genuine. We're going to be honest. We're going to be informed. And we're most of all going to be connected. I think back to all of the things that we've encountered this year. So we've overcome cicadas and we've overcome, one phase of the pandemic. And now we're, gearing up and preparing our families to deal with the second phase of the pandemic with the Delta variant. And who knows what's around the bend. So guess what? We're going to be happy, okay? And be grateful.
Be blessed.
And be blessed. I love it. So before we get started, guys, we want to, of course, acknowledge our media partners. So Kiana, if you could do the honors.
Yeah, so we want to give a shout out to our media partners over at Diamond K over at Radio on Fire, and Meech at Nick of Time Media, and Rock over at WMEG Radio. We thank you guys for your support. Make sure you go follow them on Instagram and Facebook, and you can find the Connector Corner over on their social media, YouTubes, and other platforms as well. So thank you to our media partners and your continued support.
Thank y'all. Also, if you have not subscribed to our channel, I want to have a heart-to-heart, a sister girl to sister or brother girl. Oh boy. Okay. I want to have a conversation real quick. I understand that when you click subscribe, it may ask you a question like, what's your email? It may ask you to log on and log into Gmail. I get it. If of all the lazy people in the world, this one, I get it. I might not make a breakfast appointment, brunch appointment, dentist appointment if it asks me for one too many clicks. I get it, right? But come on, guys. It's 2021. We're already charting for a successful and an innovative and powerful 2022. We got to shake off those old habits and those lazy fingers. So if you really want to subscribe to us, but you're so irritated that every time you go to youtube.com and you type in the Connected Corner in the search bar and you hit subscribe, it asks you to do one more thing. Trust me, just do the one more thing. It'll be so worth it because you'll get not only notified when we go live, you'll get like binged and tinged if you want to through your notifications when we're posting things. And guys, this is free information. We're in an information era where people are charging for everything, and this is free. So don't be a lazy bum like Tori Rose and go ahead and put your email address in and hit subscribe. I realize that it happens, and it happens to the best of us. So we want to make sure you guys are getting connected and staying connected with us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. By carrier pigeon, send me one. By owl, however you got to do it. Stay connected with us because we have some great things in store this upcoming season. Am I lying, Key?
You are not.
I'm not lying because I'm not flying. So without further ado, I want to make one other announcement. Today's a holiday. Did you know?
It's August the 24th.
824. Do you know what day it is?
No.
It is National Waffle Day. Waffle, 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 that. Girls, waffle, waffle, that. Waffle, waffle. So for the, foodies like me, you knew that. You woke up this morning, you said your Nam Myoho Renge Kyos, you thank God or whatever you do. You twirled in a circle, you threw that thing in a circle, and then you gave praise that it was National Waffle Day. So if you didn't know, now you know. Go get yourself a waffle. Enjoy some breakfast with your family.
I know that's
for
right.
dinner.
And breakfast at night is great. We used to have breakfast food night when the kids.
I miss it. Yeah. Pancake nights. I know. We need to bring back old traditions, but well, the kids are getting old. They don't want to do that stuff.
And we're not eating carbs these days. So No.
Well, I'm still subscribing to smaller guts, bigger butts. So whatever helps me get that done. Well, anyway, speaking about enlarging our territory, our guests today are talking about something that's phenomenal, right? It's a phenomenal situation. They are enlarging. I'm not going to spill the tea just too much because I want them to be able to ring their own bell. But there's big things on the horizon. And carbs or no carbs, you don't want to miss it. Kiana, can you do me a favor and introduce our guests?
Yeah, so I'm excited about today. Again,
you see that shoulder? That's my
Mhm.
excited shoulder.
That's your excited shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
We always love to bring you news and resources you can actually use. And so tonight we're bringing you news and resource about mental health awareness and trauma advocacy. And so we have two phenomenal community leaders,
Yes,
Savannah Duncan and Miss Nicole Mosby Taylor. And we are so excited to have them with us, and we're going to bring them on. We want to give them a connected corner. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining us today. We're excited to have you. I mean, this is just an honor. We know that this is a topic and things that we have to talk about in our community. And so we want to, give our community what they need and the information they need about this. And I like the fact that you guys focus on youth as well when it comes to the mental illness and trauma advocacy. So we're excited to have you here with us today, and we just want to get started. We'll start with ladies first. And Nicole, tell us, tell our audience about yourself. Tell us a little bit about, for those who may not know who you are, because we're Baltimore and beyond. And so definitely, tell the audience a little bit about who you are.
Well, first, let me just say, ladies, thank you so much for having us on the show today. We truly appreciate it and love you guys and love the Connected Corner. So for those who don't know, I am Nicole Mosby Taylor, and I am the founder of Empowering Minds of Maryland's Youth, where we do an array of outreach programs for youth, such as a mentoring group in the school system. We've been doing it, our mentoring group, since 2003 as a grassroots, which has grown us into several different schools. And we have been able to save so many young ladies' lives. So many of our young ladies, you'd be surprised, they contemplate suicide. They just don't love themselves and don't even want to look in the mirror at themselves. And so we have been able to have those honest conversations with them and give them the tools that they need to start to love on themselves. And it's just amazing. Like, it's no amount of money in the world that could replace that feeling that you have when you see them come such a long journey. So that's just one thing under our umbrella. We also offer a scholarship to our young ladies. So we've been mentoring for so long that the young ladies have been able to matriculate through our program and come back to sit in to help with the young ladies who are sitting in those same very seats that they once sat in. And so we wanted to create a scholarship that could give them a little something to let them know that we truly appreciate them coming back to help. And so we created the Orangeman Jones Collegiate Scholarship, which is named after my mom and two of our board members, Ebony Brandon and Dr. Bilal Ali's mom. All three of our moms had a similar story in which that they were just givers to youth particular. So we felt like that would be the best name for it. We also do a Leadership Academy retreat where we go 4 days, 3 nights, and we do everything from STEM programs to archery to kayaking to making dresses, prom dresses out of newspaper. It gives the girls an opportunity to get away from life. When we were children, a lot of times we were able to be children. But in this generation, the children have to help take care of their brothers and sisters. They have to help, work to pay bills. And it's just a difference. And so on this retreat, they're able to kind of get away and relax and just enjoy being a kid and learn and get poured into. And then at the end of our retreat, they are able to throw in the fire anything that they want to leave behind, whether it's a bad attitude, whether it's a action they've done, whatever that is, they throw it in the fire and leave it there at the camp. And I can say that there were several girls that did not want to attend, but then they did not want to leave. So it was a huge transition for them. And, you know, we were so excited to see that transition happen in just 4 days and 3 nights. So it was amazing. We also have held a Leadership Academy retreat. I'm sorry, a leadership conference, as well as a bullying conference, and the data and domestic violence conference. So we just do an array of outreach programs for youth. My other organization is Empowered Women in Business International, where we believe that individually we can do great things, but collectively we can forever change the world. So what does that mean? That means us coming together, us supporting us. And what that looks like is entrepreneurs and business professional women coming together to create this sisterhood of support for each other. And so awesome. Pastor Duncan and I came together and we said, well, what do we want to name our organization? And he said, I know, Empowered to Stand. So his organization is Stand. My organizations each have empowered or empowering in it. So we came up with the name Empowered to Stand.
Awesome. So, I mean, Nicole, where do you find time to do anything else?
Right.
But it's awesome, and we appreciate the work that you're doing in the community. And so we're going to pass the baton over to Mr. Teagan. You already let everybody know he's a pastor too. So we're going to give some more information and tell us some more about yourself. And we're going to keep it because, you know, when we have our ministers and spiritual guys and pastors on this show, you know, we're going to just have Tori turn the camera off a little bit. You're probably about the 3rd or 4th one we've had. And so we just let it flow here. Okay?
We let it flow. And I'm grateful to know. And, so there's no more inappropriate jokes.
Right. Nobody. Oh, she felt bad now, right? She felt bad about enlarging the territory.
The small guts and big butts wasn't really how I should have led the conversation. We should have started with Pastor Duncan. I didn't see that in his bio, Nicole, thanks. But I cleaned it up with enlarging our territory. So, Pastor Duncan, tell us a little bit about you and the work that you do and how this vision came to be.
Well, thank you for Ms. Tori for getting that scripture in there. But, you know, one of the things I always tell Ms. Taylor, I said, can you just call me Coach Duncan? I said, people get uneasy when they find out I'm a pastor. But my name is Tigana Duncan. I am the CEO, founder of Stand Mentorship. That is an acronym for Stepping Towards a New Destiny. The interesting thing about Stepping Towards a New Destiny was this program was actually started out of my brokenness. It started while I was broken, but I had to realize a few things. You can begin broken, but you can't stay broken. So one of the things as a young boy and understanding that, you know, there are so many young people that are broken, I started this program, and it's in the name, Stepping Towards a New Destiny. Your destiny at one point in your life may have been to not see 18 because of actions, because of decisions. But, you know, as we begin to groom the young men, we let them know that there's life for you. There's life inside of you. One of the things that I can relate so much to some of these young men that we work with is that, you know, when the parents come to me and they say my son is acting up, I always say one thing to them. I said, where's the father? That's the first question I always ask, because I understand when my father left at a young age, what it did to me. So I understand the role that being an absent father plays in these young men's life. You know, they deal with a lot of hurt. And a lot of times we don't know how to express our hurt. So here we are as young boys with hurt, with anger, with issues, and that are undealt with. guess what happens? Now I become a man with those hurt, anger, and undealt issues. So now I get married and have kids, and now we have young, beautiful women like yourself are saying, well, I just don't understand you. I don't get it. Why don't you talk? Because I have so many undealt issues in my life that I've never dealt with. So the whole goal behind Stand Mentorship is to give these young boys educational experiences, one, to help them to heal, but to show them real men role models. And one of the ways that we do that is we host an annual father-son basketball game. And this year we actually held it, and it was the 4th annual year that we held that game. And we had individuals over the years come out. This year we had our council president come out and had such a great time with so many of the young men. And we let them know, listen, get involved in these young men's lives. Go into the school system. Go into the neighborhoods. Go into the rec centers. Get involved in these young men's lives. And I've had a great privilege for the last 5 years of working within the Baltimore City School as a school teacher, just to impact those young men's lives. And that's actually how Miss Taylor and I met back in 2014, was working in the school system. And she was doing such great work at the time. And I was just getting into the school system myself. And I said, man, I love what you're doing with these young women. Imagine if we can do that with these young boys as well. So that's how this whole connection came about with Empowered to Stand.
Wow. I mean, the entire time you were talking, I mean, I think we were all just like nodding our heads. And it's obvious to see how and why you two came together, because now you are able to touch, the young women as well as the young men. And, as women, and even speaking myself, completely understanding, what you're saying, and dealing with that, because that's exactly what we say. I don't understand, I don't understand what's happening. And so that's great to touch, the young boys early on, to get them, because like you said, if you start as a young boy with it, you just grow up to be a man, and the same with the young lady. So, we appreciate what you guys are doing in the community. Furthermore, with that, you're doing a lot, like in the community, professionally, both, you're being in the school system, which former educator myself. And so just what are some of the greatest professional challenges you've had to overcome, especially right now with the pandemic, right? So, you're doing community outreach, you're in the, the school system with your programs as educators. What are some of the greatest challenges specifically now during the pandemic? And then what have you learned from that? And so we'll start with Nicole.
Some of the greatest challenges are getting the children, the youth, to get out of their own way. So sometimes they want the help, but they're too worried about the peers and what the peers are thinking. Are they going to joke me for being a part of this program? So sometimes just them getting out of their own way. And the simplest thing that I always tell people who are starting mentoring groups, because I've been able to help many people get their mentoring group started, was to just build those relationships with them. Once you build that relationship, then you're able to, have those honest conversations. You're able to get through to them even better than their parents sometimes. Better than their teachers. I had teachers calling me instead of calling the parents sometimes to talk with the student if something was going on. I would say that. I would say also family situations. A lot of times our babies are acting up because of something going on in the household that has nothing to do with them. Maybe mom and dad are in a domestic violent, abusive relationship. Maybe the gas and electric and lights are off, and they're going to sleep in the cold. Maybe they don't have a refrigerator. And I just gave you 3 scenarios of different times that I've had to step in and help families. So this is not something that I'm just making up. This is real life situations that our babies are going through. Sleeping at home in the cold, Like, could you imagine trying to go to sleep and you're freezing cold? So our babies go through so much, and instead of using their voices, a lot of times they use their actions to act out. And because of that, they get in trouble. Instead of us finding out what is the root cause, why are they acting out? Let's talk about it. Let's, help me to understand what's going on. And then, last but not least, financial aspect. Any organization, doing good work, it's difficult for us to get funding sometimes. And they want you to be a part, and they love your program, and they sing praises, and they want you to come into these schools, and they want you to do different things. But then there's always the but. We don't have that much money, or we don't have any money. And they have, and it's like getting people to understand that, we have families and we have to eat as well. Pastor Duncan and I both, Coach Duncan, he did tell me to call him Coach Duncan. I'm just so used to calling him Pastor. But Coach Duncan, and I both were able to connect because we have a heart of gold. And we always giving to our communities, giving, to our youth, giving. And, I came to him and, just honestly, I said, listen, we are providing excellent programs. And it's time for us to start to get paid for those programs, because the principals who ask us to come in are getting paid. The teachers who ask us for help with their youth are getting paid. And, we're the only ones that's not getting paid. And, to some that might sound cruel, or
that's business,
like,
and it's
why
real.
would you say that? But this is real life. Like, we are doing the work, we work hard, and why shouldn't we get paid as well? So,
Nicole, you've said a couple of things that are just pivotal. I want to, before we dissect those, I want to just remind our viewers, if you see Kiana and I looking around and doing things, it's because we're taking notes. We're writing, we're taking notes, we are capturing this great information. And so I want everybody listening, or if you're catching it on the replay, be sure to drop your comments. Let us know where you're catching it. If you're with us tonight, say hello, check in. But make sure you're taking notes, and make sure that you're actually listening to the concepts and the topics, because there's so many things that are golden, so many golden nuggets that are being dropped, even just in the first 20 minutes of this conversation. Something that you said, Nicole, that I wanted to kind of just expound on was, well, first of all, being paid for your service, right? Fee for service. I think what happens is when people see you as a server, you serve children, you have a heart of gold, you give. It is hard for them then to pivot when you say, but this is my business. And so I love the fact that you are not cheating yourselves, because it doesn't mean you don't love children. It doesn't mean you don't have a quality product. It doesn't mean you don't have a heart for service. It means that in order to sustain this good thing, there has to be some type of compensation. And we want to be compensated well. And we should be, because frequently mentors are standing in gaps that parents cannot stand in. So it's not that parents won't, as you said earlier, the parent who's fighting to get their BGE turned on, or to provide heat and food, and maybe dealing with substance abuse, and all of these things cannot stand in the gap. And so I think that what you've said is just pivotal. Again, guys, if you're not subscribed to our channel, go to youtube.com, type in the search bar, The Connected Corner. It is all phonetically spelled, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Coach Duncan, I'm going to actually throw this one to you. Listen to what Nicole has said, and understanding the work you do in and out of schools. So coach, pastor, potentially dad, friend, uncle, big brother figure. Can you talk a little bit about those intersections of where mental health in the church, mental health in the school, how it all affects our children? Can you talk about how the work you do has intersections?
You know what? It's so important. And I think one of the things that are happening now more than ever is that, as Christians, we all love Jesus. We love God. and everything, but we're beginning to understand that you can have Jesus and a therapist at the same time. You know, that he blesses individuals. He blesses, God isn't far from science. I believe that God is found all up in science. So if we feel like that, for a long time, there was this stigma when it came to therapy, and there's a personal situation that where I needed a therapist myself. And I've learned to be, Miss Rose, and, I've learned to be more vulnerable with this, because not long ago, I dealt with mental health myself. Last year I lost my mom during this whole pandemic, and it sent me into a spiral of depression. And I thank God for where I was, at this point. But there were around a lot of people that surrounded me that said, well, why don't you seek professional help? And it was those people like Miss Taylor, at my family, everybody that surrounded me, and said, you know what, you can seek that professional help. And here's one of the things that it did. It allowed me to be vulnerable, because my oldest son came to me one day, and my whole family, everybody saw me going through this. And he said, Dad, it's okay. You lost a mom, but I lost a grandma. And at that moment, here's what I did. I became vulnerable enough to talk to him, because they saw me struggling. Everybody saw me struggling. It became a daily struggle. So it goes back to what I was saying. We must heal, and I will deal with the men that are listening. We must heal so that our kids don't remain broken, or they don't feel like, hey, I cannot be vulnerable enough. We need to be vulnerable in areas in our life so that we can be whole. Because guess what? If I'm not whole in every area of my life, guess what? I'm not an effective father. I'm not an effective friend. I'm not an effective mentor. I'm not an effective husband. I'm not effective community advocate. So in healing and being made whole, meaning nothing lacking in my life, brings me into a place where I'm operating my life with total effectiveness. And again, going through these situations allowed me to see, like, wow, mental health issues are real. And there are some issues that you get to the point that I need that help, where you can't drag yourself out of the bed, you can't get up off the floor, whatever the situation may be. But the goal is to be totally whole and totally healed, because there are others that are watching you. You're inspiring other people. You're encouraging other people. So we as educators, mentors, whatever title that we may take on, we have to make sure that we are totally healed.
Wow. Thank you for that. Again, just so much great information. And we just, want to make sure, because we know that this is huge throughout the community. And what you're saying, I know, my pastor says the same thing, like, we can pray and, we hope and we have faith and we have these different things, but people have to understand sometimes you need that professional help as well to bring those two segments of life together. So as you said, Coach Deacon, to be whole, and so it's very important with all the work and the things that you guys are doing. And just segue into the information that Coach Duncan was just talking about. Nicole, how do you deal with, burnout or feeling unmotivated? We do, and ourselves go through our own personal things, right? While we're still trying to be out here and help the community and help youth. How do you deal with that burnout and at times feeling unmotivated yourself?
Number one, I surround myself around, other like-minded individuals who, when you find yourself slipping, can, be that person to say, get their hand down there and pull you back up. My family is very supportive, and that is extremely helpful as well. And I would say, taking me days. I love the spa. So I, spa all day. I'm good with going to the spa and be there all day. Start with the facial, get the massage, pedicure, manicure, everything done, everything did. So, I'm a advocate of self-care, and we're no good to our children, our spouses, our the community that we serve if our glass is depleted. So it's so important for us to continue to pour into ourselves as well, so that we can have that running stream for the people that we serve.
That's so true. That's so true. And as Coach, are we saying Coach D? I feel like every time I look up, we're giving.
Either one is fine.
Okay, we're giving a new name. We get you further and further from the cross. But Coach, it's funny because I am someone who, and Kiana and I both, we share this. We share the love and the desire to just know more. And so we have signed up for ecumenical Bible colleges, and we've gone through theology and theodicy classes because we just want to know more about what the word really says about the world, right? And as you were talking about science, so many, and I'm going to say air quote Christians, right? Because we inherit our religion oftentimes in Black and brown communities, no different than we inherit our mental health issues and other things, right? So many Christians believe if I have Jesus, I can't do these science things. I can't have this therapist. But actually in the word, it says that God gave us teachers and wise men, and he sent us help. And so for anyone who's listening who may be conflicted, we're going to give you these two amazing guest information. Reach out, talk to them. Find the example of Christ living inside of these people, because I know it's there. And then go get yourself a counselor, because these two people are living proof that not only does God restore and heal, but he sends you the help that you need. And so none of us should be walking around here all depleted, because we got news and resources you can actually use from the Connected Corner. And you actually got good people here that we've gotten connected to who can help you. So Nicole, I'm going to toss the next question to you. I'm sorry, Coach D, I didn't let you answer your burnout question, but I think you kind of touched on it. Is there anything else you do? Any kind of aromatherapy, candles, something you do when you feel burnt out?
Said aromatherapy, candles. No, but I did my sister did have me get into Bath and Body Works candle day or something.
See, I'm prophetic. How did I know that? Mm-hmm. And you got that spearmint, eucalyptus.
Right. 6 o'clock in the morning, we was in line. But so you know all about it. But it's similar to what Ms. Taylor was saying. It's you have to take that time. For some of us, it's prayer. For some of us, it's just we work so much, and Ms. Taylor gets on me because she calls me during the day, and she always be like, "Where are you? In the gym?" Then I say, "Don't answer when you're in the gym." Because I love, that's my thing. And I go there and I'm there for 3 hours. I'm studying, I'm listening to a sermon, I'm listening to Les Brown, Jim Rohn, Miles Monroe. I'm listening to some type of teaching, something to build my character, some John Maxwell, something to build my spirit, something to heal my soul. Whatever it is that I can do to help myself become better, I pull myself away. And she is right. There are also those times where you have to totally disconnect. But when you're so used to just working, it becomes difficult to disconnect. It's like going on vacation. Sometimes it takes me 2 days to disconnect, but I'm there for 5. It's about a third day you're actually enjoying it. But, like similar to what Ms. Taylor said, is I've learned something similar. I've learned to keep my cup full. And as I pour into myself, I give people from the saucer. It's like your cup sitting on the saucer. I've learned not to give people from my cup. I've learned to give people from my saucer, so that keeps me from getting burnt out.
I love that. And Kiana, we're gonna saucer. We're gonna do that. We have this thing where we don't let others polish our cups. And what that means is, like, for example, if you had met me maybe a year or two ago, I would have never come on our show with this little turban thing on my head, right? Because my focus was, what are people going to think? And what are people going to say? And because there was a part of me that wasn't whole. Mm. When you start working on you understand that only those that God has ordained to touch your cup have access to polish your cup. And if that's very few, it might not be anybody. In a season, you may be going through, you're the only person that can polish your cup. And so it gives you a self-image. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later as you guys share about your grandiose news. Self-image and suicide and the adults and the 25 to 44, those numbers are every year increasing because people mishandle people and people get advice from this person and they're looking at Instagram and they're seeing all the stuff and then you don't know who you are. And so I'm at a place where I'm so comfortable in myself. I'm showing up unapologetically. And so, Nicole, I want to toss that question to you. How have you gotten secure in yourself? And has there ever been a time when you just felt like, forget it, I'm just walking away?
So I didn't give you guys the backstory as to why I started my mentoring program. So I was, a young girl being bullied, and to the point where I didn't want to go to school. I didn't skip school, but I was being bullied, and it was pretty bad, and it affected my self-esteem. And it wasn't until I got in high school that I said, I'm not going to allow people to bully me anymore. Now, where this came from, the only thing I can say is God, because it just like dropped in my spirit. Like, I'm just not going to let this happen anymore. And so not only did I start standing up for myself, but I started standing up for other people who were being bullied as well. And so, it was at that very pivotal point for me that I made that choice to start to stand up. And I forgot where I was going with this. What was the question? One more time.
No worries. Have you ever said, you know what, now that I've done all of this, I've changed at least one life. I know I have. I'm done. I'm burned out. I'm over it. I'm going to walk away. No one is pouring into my cup. As you just said, no one is helping me. I'm done. Have you ever felt that way? And it could be self-image, or it could just be the distractions of the world or overwhelming of the world.
So I think I did walk away from the whole, being a victim, and I was ready to not be a victim anymore, but be the victor, and let people know, no, you're not going to not only not do it to me, but not do it around me to anybody else either. And, I get in trouble with my family all the time. I still am that person that if I see kids out there fighting, I get out my car, I stop my car, I get out and I break it up. If I see, I was on my street and saw a couple get into it, and I was able to distract the young man, and the girl was able to get away. And then what did I do? He started running after my car. I drove off and I went to find the girl. And I put it in my car, and my, people with my family was fussing me out. Like, how'd you have on your car during COVID? And, so much could have happened. And I'm not telling you guys the whole story, is too long to say. But what I will say is I feel that God put me here to do these things. And I feel that if he put me here to do it, he's going to protect me while I'm doing it. And if not, then make sure that y'all put on my gravesite and in my obituary that what I was doing but it's in my spirit, it's in my heart, and it's like I act first and think about it later, because I just feel like, and I tell God, in my prayer that, continue to use me as your tool, your instrument. Whatever that looks like, to be that advocate for for children, to be that advocate for adults, whatever it looks like, continue to use me and guide me. So
Kiana and I were going to cut you off. We were about to end it. I thought you were going to tell us where you buried his body. We were like, no. No. Cut that part. You did a good work. Just leave it there.
Right. She said, I'm not going to tell you all the story. But when she said she put the girl in the car, he was running after, I was like, this sounds familiar a little bit, but we're not going to go there. We know, we Baltimore and beyond with our audience and the news and resources, but we from Baltimore. So I just like, Nicole, don't say it all. No.
I will say everybody is still living. Okay.
That's awesome. So I think we are at our key question segment. So Kiana, I love this part because it's rapid fire. We get to see if you guys can actually get it done in a little bit of time, I always fail. So I don't answer the question because I always go over the time. But I'm going to go ahead and cue up the amazing key questions. Tell us about the segment.
Oh my goodness, she is so funny. Okay, so we're at key questions, and so during this segment, it's a rapid fire. I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and you have to answer them before this 2-minute timer goes out. And so I'm going to hold the timer up. I'm going to start with Coach Duncan this time. We've been starting with Coach. I'm going to start with, look, he's like, oh, no, don't start with me.
He didn't like that gender equality there. He was like, wait a minute.
He's like, we don't have gender equality. He's like, oh, no, we was going to keep on starting with the lady first. But we're going to, and so I'll, start the timer after I ask the first question. And so you have to answer both questions before the timer goes out. And this is really fun, especially when we have 2 guests and you guys are, partners, because they get a little bit of, competitive. You want to make sure you have more time left than the other person. So, so I'm going to ask the first question and then I'll start the timer. The first question is, what is one thing about the work you do that puts a smile on your face every time?
One thing about the work that I do that puts a smile on my face every time is about purpose. Listening to Miss Rose earlier, and you was talking, and you said about polishing your cup. It's simple. It's about knowing your assignment. When you know those that are assigned to you, it becomes easier. It's like showing up to work. You go to your job every day, you get paid for your job, but you're there on assignment to do a work. So as long as you're fulfilling that work that God has called you to do, which is wrapped up in your purpose, that's what puts a smile on my face, knowing that I'm in my assignment every day. I've been graced to do what I do. So I thank God for that.
Awesome. That's a good answer. The second question is, what is one thing you want people to take away from this episode?
One thing, men, especially the men, I'll speak to everybody, but heal. It is okay to become vulnerable enough to heal. I'm speaking to the fathers. I'm speaking to the husbands. I'm speaking to the sons. I'm speaking to the brothers, the uncle. Listen, the children, your children need you hold. Your wife needs you hold. Your sister, your brother. We have to heal and we have to become vulnerable enough. But listen, I'm going to tell you guys something as well. Ladies, if y'all want us to heal and you guys want us to be vulnerable, be open and accepting of our brokenness. Be willing to work with our brokenness. I'll tell you my brokenness, but don't judge me on what I just showed you. Don't, when you're upset with me, don't hit me below the belt. Don't castrate me. Don't, minimize my manlyhood because now you know my vulnerability. I'm willing to heal, but you got to help me. You got to support me through my healing process.
Wow. I forgot what I was.
Right. How much time does he have?
You got like 30 seconds left.
Okay,
I forgot what was happening.
Listen, that is so good.
That was so good.
Key, you want to speak first? You can speak first. Go ahead, speak first, Kiana, if you got to speak first.
It's going to call. I don't want to be too vulnerable. No. But Coach Duncan, I gotta say Pastor Duncan, Mentor Duncan, like all of that, because that was all wrapped up in the word that you just gave us. And so it's important, especially that second part, because I think sometimes men are afraid to be vulnerable with their wives, with, the women in their lives, their partners, because they don't want to get hit below the belt. So it's like, if I share this thing with you, if I show you, will you think I'm weak? Will you, think this of me? And exactly. So having that discernment to understand that, especially if you've come into yoking in partnership with that person, hopefully you understand that they're not there to minimize, but we are here to be the helper. And so some of that vulnerability has to take place for us to play our part to be the helper. And so that was just pivotal. I mean, I hope everybody just got that, great nugget of information.
I was shouting over here. I had to get my show on for both of them because, again, as Coach said, many women would have been like, hallelujah, for the man needing to heal. But are you strong enough as a woman to be there to support, to protect, to sometimes just sit in silence and quiet? Everything doesn't need an explanation. That's amazing, because there's so many men and women out here who, what I always say, they're shot, but they're wearing a waistcoat. So you got shot, you're bleeding out, but you got a jacket on. So the people coming in contact with you can't even tell that you're bleeding. We just know that you're ornery and that you're angry and that you have problems maintaining relationships, but you got this wound and you're afraid to even get treatment for. And I'm gonna say this other thing. I'm not going to put the person out. Yes, I was. My mama. I love her to life. My mother is a school-based nurse. And she's been working with children her whole life, or her whole professional life, I should say. And I can remember her having an encounter with some 9th and 10th grade boys. Now, my mother has all daughters. And I remember her saying, I don't know how I'm going to deal with these boys in this school. And we had a conversation. This may have been 10 years ago. So my sisters were 14 and 10. And my mother was dealing with 9th and 10th grade boys. And I said to her, mentor them and love them, because one day they may be dating your daughter. You have to always understand that there's something in you, especially if God has given you the ability to mother or father other people's children. You never know when those paths are going to cross. 3 weeks ago, my mother walked in her house. And my sister said, hey, my friend is coming over. And why was it one of those boys? Has not seen my mother in 10 years. But he embraced her. Oh, my goodness, Miss such and such, you were so amazing. He remembered her first and last name. He remembered everything about my mother because she loved him. And so if anything we take from this, hopefully the people who are listening are hearing, and I see this comment, being supportive to men when they're being vulnerable is imperative. He will be willing to continue to share with you. Yes. And our brothers, don't take our feedback as criticism, because what happens is when you are vulnerable, sometimes you also can be defensive. And so it requires a professional to help both parts be heard and to receive what they're hearing. So anyway, Key's question.
I'm sorry, I put the thing to the side. Sorry.
We about to take the offering. What's the cash app? What's the cash app you can send the offering?
Right. All right. So I'm going to read the first question, and then I'll start the timer. And so, again, what is one thing about the work you do that puts a smile on your face every time?
Every time I help a young lady get the help that she needs that was suicidal. Again, like I can't drive it home enough. And I particularly mention suicide so much because it's been so rapid that I've had to help so many young ladies. And you'd be surprised. You look at them and you would think that they have it all put together. And those are the ones that's having those suicidal ideations. And, you know, being able to make that change, like I said, no amount of money could ever replace, you know, what I do with that.
Awesome. And then the second question is, what is one thing you want people to take away from this episode?
I want people to take away from this episode that love yourself. If we don't love ourselves, then we can't love others. And so that's one of the issues that couples are having, is because if you can't love yourself, you know, and I teach my girls, you know, you have to love the higher power. You know, I love God. And then I love myself, and then I can love others. How can I truly love somebody else if I can't even love myself? And so we have so many people walking around so damaged and broken, and don't they take that time to love themselves, that, you know, it comes across in every facet of their lives, whether it's school, work, you know, it comes across in the things that they do, you know, the people they interact with. And so it starts with us just taking that time to find out what is true love with yourself.
Awesome. And that is so important. It really is. And you had about 40 seconds left.
Right.
So I think I won.
No.
Right. Well, we dropped the timer on Coach D because we were in here shouting. But so suicide.
I want to rewind because she said he had she said he had some more seconds left.
Well, he had 30.
Rewind on that one.
You had 40, which meant you did the better job. You see how we are as women. So listen, you know, there's been some heavy topics. I appreciate the fact that both of you guys have been able to share it, and your personal stories and still be very optimistic and be so spot on about your purpose and why God has called you, especially in this union, to expand your reach. When I was looking at some of the numbers, one of the numbers I found was 48,344 people committed suicide in our country in 2018. 48,344 in 2018. We know that number has increased. We know that there's been economic challenges because of COVID. We know that people who lost loved ones to COVID are dealing with severe depression and different things, and maybe not able to get the help because of COVID. I mean, it's just so much. So tell the audience and everyone who's listening what you guys have coming up. Let's talk a little bit about the event, how they can get connected, and how they can support. And I'm going to start with Coach. And Coach, when you're done, toss it to Nicole.
Sure. Again, it's such a privilege to be able to work with Ms. Taylor. We started a behavioral health or mental health services. It's called Empower to Stand Health Services. It's a combination of Stand Mentorship, which I'm the founder of, and Empowering Minds of Maryland Youth, which Ms. Taylor is the founder of. So the whole mission behind Empower to Stand Health Services is to empower, educate, and motivate individuals, families, and the community to stand independently and collectively with confidence. So with that being said, one of the things that in order for individuals to do that, we have to provide them with the tools. But with providing individuals with the tools, it's like for someone that never used a drill before. I just can't hand you the drill and expect you to go build a house or put a cabinet together. I'm going to have to teach you what it is to do with that particular tool that you have. So this weekend, August the 29th, we have a resource fair and a grand opening of Empower to Stand Health Services. And Ms. Taylor will give you guys more information. Thank you so much on that. But we have so many vendors coming out this weekend. Ms. Taylor, would you like to share more about the vendors?
Sure. So as Coach Duncan said, it is
Pastor Duncan. I'm joking.
Pastor Duncan. And he's a jokester, so he's right up your alley, Tori. So it is August 29th at 2 p.m. 8110 Harford Road, Suite B, Parkville, Maryland. Empower to Stand ribbon cutting and resource fair. So we have an array of resources as well as vendors. So it's going to be amazing. We have the Red Cross, Can't Close My Eyes, and I'm just naming a couple off the top of my head. We have vendors selling everything from jewelry. We have Virtuous Jewels and Glam by Nakia LLC. We have Nikki J's chemical-free sanitary napkins. So that's like, we have clothes, we have cups. You want your logo on the cup, come there. Like anything that you have. We have jobs. We have 2 vendors that will have jobs available for people. We have Hero, a Mom's Hero. I'm always jacking up names, so I apologize ahead if I am, but they'll be giving out Pampers. So it's just an array of different resources as well as vendors that'll be there. We have Anthony McCarthy, who will be our host that evening. We have a DJ, face painter, moon bounce, activities for the kids. So it's a little bit of something for everybody. And one of my favorites is we have some banana pudding popcorn. And it sounds kind of crazy, but you have to taste it. It's to die for. And it even has the little cookies inside.
I love it. I'm here for it. We know that location. I actually had the honor of teaching in the same building with my cousin. And so Kiana and I both are, are we retired educators now? I don't know how you want to call it. We're currently out of the classroom, but we taught on that side of the world, right near that location. There was a barbershop and like a florist place or something. Is that the same building?
Yes, we're right behind the barbershop.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the location, because we know Harford Road can be crazy. We're talking about this is a Saturday, right before school starts, and people going to be out driving and not looking. They're going to drive with their eyes closed. So tell us a little bit about the location, what to expect for parking, and is it an inside and outside venue?
So it is, so we're going to have the whole parking lot because we know the numbers are rising for COVID. We want to be COVID sensitive. So we are asking everyone to wear their mask. We'll have hand sanitizer and masks, but the event will take place at the parking lot, in the parking lot. So if you come, you'll be directed to come and walk up the parking lot. We do have the parking lot next to us for parking, and then there will be street parking because it is on a Sunday.
Oh, I'm sorry. I say Saturday. Forget me, days.
Sunday the 29th. So we'll have the whole parking lot. We will be taking tours, people to tour the office so they can get to see all that God has provided for us. So we just are so excited. It's going to be awesome. Excited. We have entertainment. We have someone doing spoken word. We have a hip hop artist that will be performing. We also have Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated will be doing a little step and stroll. And we have a basketball net so the boys can, I'm not going to say boys because I love basketball. So the children can, or adults can shoot hoops. So it's going to be a little bit of something for everybody.
Awesome. And when you guys open your doors and you start taking your clients, I'm sure there will be some virtual opportunities and things like that to meet with patients because of COVID. But will any insurance be accepted, or is there a specific type of insurance? Or because someone listening may say, hey, I really need this, but I'm on medical assistance or I'm on Blue Cross Blue Shield and I never can get anything without a referral. So tell us a little bit about who can actually benefit from your services.
We're going to start off with Medicare and Medicaid. Both of those fields will be, both of those insurances will be taken.
Wonderful. That sounds like y'all COF certified. Okay. Yeah.
So they have, so COF is one of the accreditation bodies. So we went with the Joint Council Commission. So yes.
Good. I love y'all. So see, get connected to these people. They knowledgeable.
Yes, and also just to add to what Ms. Taylor was saying, I'm actually glad that she did mention the basketball hoop. I'm like, you mentioned the banana pudding, but you got to remember to mention the basketball hoop. That I will be giving you all a chance to beat me in 3-pointers for some prizes. We have some prizes that we will be giving away if you come out and participate in that. But I also want to say that there is an opportunity for the parents as well to sign their kids up in the mentoring program. If you bring out your young ladies, they get to meet Miss Taylor to sign them up in Empowering Minds of Maryland Youth. And then I'll be there as well. That if any of the young men are interested in signing up with Stepping Towards a New Destiny.
Awesome. Well, I love basketball too. I started singing, we're playing basketball. Everything is a song for me. So when she said it, that came in my head. But that is my favorite sport. I literally was about to reach out to a friend of ours that coach and was like, can I do your stats? I missed that. I did it in high school. I don't know about challenges in 3-pointers. I can't do layups. So I never really played. I didn't really make the team. And I went to Western, so there was no halfway being able to play to be on Western's team.
Right.
So I was the basketball manager because they was like, oh, you're all right, but you're good in math. We're gonna sit you over here with the stats. So that's how that went. But we will definitely be promoting the event on our social media platforms. We've started sharing it in the comments as on Facebook and also in our story. So, you can also go to the Connected Corner Facebook and Instagram to get additional information. And again, make sure you connect with Nicole and Coach Duncan. And they're also going to, provide their information for you guys. So we'll have that also, not just the event information in the comments, but we'll also have their contact information in the comments, because it sounds like an event that you guys definitely want to get in touch with, to be a part of. I know I have people reaching out to me, cousins and family members and, you know, godchildren. And just recently, you know, one of my goddaughters saying like, hey, I know I need, you know, counseling and things like that. And so, you know, it's important, especially for that mentorship. So I will definitely not only be sharing it, you know, out to our viewers and followers, but also internally to family and friends as well, who I know are seeking, you know, mentorship and different things for their young people.
Thank you. And we hope you guys can make it out.
Yes. I was just about to say, so my life has taken a few positive turns. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there, but I have a sick 3-pointer. Kiki will tell you, I can shoot in the skirt. So okay. Coach D, I might have to call you once so a little sneak. I haven't done my big like reveal. I came off of social media to focus just on my family and some of the expansions and things that we have going on, but I'm also working on my master's. And so I will not be out. Yes, thank you, Lord. This ADHD is that y'all need to have an ADHD service. I'm trying to be the mascot. But with that, I have to be very intentional about scheduling time and being out and being in my computer and doing my work and things like that. So I will be there in spirit. But as Kiana said, we are pushing it out and beyond the event. I think sometimes people get connected to the event, but not to the golden nuggets, the resources that are actually there. So I'm challenging everyone who's watching, everyone who I know went and subscribed to our YouTube channel today, to stay not only connected to the grandiose event, but stay beyond that. Bring some kids from your neighborhood, kids from the church, people from your job, wherever you know you hear things. We hear things all the time. I had a friend just recently commit suicide, and I am still devastated. Like, he's been my friend for 20 years, and none of us saw it. You know, successful at work, you know, was an athlete, was a coach, all of these things. And it's like, how do you wrap your mind around it? So even if you know that you need just someone to talk to, we got a brand new service coming your way.
And listen, even if we are unable to provide you with provide you with help, we have resources to send you to, and we will be your advocate and make sure that, you know, you get to a point of completion. So.
Awesome. So Nicole, tell us, our viewers, for everyone that's subscribed to the Connect the Corner YouTube today, as Tori said, anyone watching, or if they're watching on the replay, tell them how to connect with you.
So you can connect with Empowered to Stand Health Services via our phone number, 443-733-3911. That's 443-733-3911. Or you can reach us via our email, which is empoweredtostandhs@gmail.com.
And then your social media for those who may want to reach out to you directly as well.
We're on social media as Empowered to Stand HS as well.
Awesome. And Coach
Duncan, that's Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, awesome. Coach Duncan, do you have any additional contact information for our viewers and followers?
Yes, thank you so much. Like Ms. Taylor said, she gave the information for Empowered to Stand Health Services. But if anyone just wants to contact me for the mentorship, Stand Mentorship, if you look on the screen, there's actually my Instagram tag, _Stand Mentorship.
You and Tori, well, do you want to tell us how to connect? Well, they can email you.
they can email me. My pages are still up, guys. So I'm still Tori Rose the Connector on Instagram. But if there's a pressing matter, please send me an email at connect2Tori, TORI, @gmail.com. I do not plan to actively be back on social media until the winter break, which is sometime in January. So if you want to get to me, please, hopefully you have my phone number because it was leaked publicly. If not, email me at connect2Tori@gmail.com. And I'm doing really good. I'm getting back to emails within 24 hours. So please shoot me an email. And thanks for all of our viewers. Oh my goodness, there's been some amazing comments. If we didn't get to read your comment, we saw it. Thank you so much. And we'll be sure. Wildflower Beyond. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Kiana, how can we find you and connect to you?
You can connect to me on all social media platforms at Kiana B. Jones, and then also on Instagram. I have two. It's Kiana B. Jones. And you can connect with the Connected Corner on YouTube. Again, go over to YouTube, type in the Connected Corner, subscribe, get the notifications, and we are also on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome sauce. Listen, if you want to be a guest on our show, you think you have something that's so amazing and you want to share it, we are so blessed to be on 3 different networks, and we have viewers that tune in from across everywhere. We have people in California who text us and inbox and say, hey, I checked your show out. People in the DMV, people up and down the East Coast. So make sure you email us at bcg.manage@gmail.com if you want to be a guest on our show. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on. If it's a business, if it's an idea, if it's a venture, as long as it's going to bring news and or resources that our communities can use, we'll definitely entertain your request. So email us to be a guest on the show. This has been an amazing Tuesday. We are the Connected Corner, guys. Check us out Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. We appreciate it. We love y'all. And again, this is where you get news and resources you
can actually use.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. It's been
good night.
Connected Corner.